I think I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, even from the very beginning, my journey through school and university. I knew it was what I wanted to do. I did a gap year doing voluntary work in northern Tanzania, and there was a little international school in that town. After just a few years teaching in the UK, I first got a job abroad in Jakarta, Indonesia, and said to my parents, it's only 2 years. That was 24 years ago. Never looked back. What interested me about career at the time was that it was just somewhere different. I wanted to explore Northern Asia a bit more. At the time that I applied for the job here, I was working at the British School of Muscat in Oman. I'd never been to Korea before, so that seemed like an interesting option. Very first time I visited the school was actually in June before it opened. It was still a building site. It was literally a concrete shell. There was no glass in the windows, nothing was finished. We opened 1 day later than planned due to a storm. It was a much smaller school at that time. We had about 220 children on roll, and we had plenty of breakout space and storage. I think the sorts of teachers that apply for a job in a brand new school are the teachers who are prepared to roll up their sleeves and get on with it. The families that joined us in that first year as well, they were putting their faith in a new school, a new group of people who hadn't worked together before. When we only opened as a primary school. There were 2 or 3 classes in each year group, and there was only 1 class in year 6. So 12 class teachers. We had 1 specialist PE teacher, 1 specialist music, and so on. It was much smaller staff. A few of the teaching assistants are still here. My fondest memories of that very first year was how kind everyone was when I first arrived. Just before school opened, I broke my ankle that summer. So I arrived still wearing one of those cast-style boots and on crutches, and everybody rallied around, staff, parents, everybody was out helping me get settled into my apartment, helping me do shopping because I was fairly immobile and needed a lot of support. That was the first thing that struck me, just how kind everybody was. Students that have gone all the way through, who have started in, say, toddler or nursery and are now graduating from year 13, they've had a phenomenal opportunity. They've had the benefit of a great education, the Dulwich network, an international outlook, supportive environment. With one little child, I remember we were outside in the early years area. They'd used one of the tough spots to make this big mud pit for the dinosaurs to play in. He was walking along and he turned around to talk to somebody, fell over and went face plant down into this mud pit, stood up, covered head to toe in mud. I remember him just saying to his teacher, "I'm okay, Mrs. Gorton, I'll just get a tissue." It's developed hugely since I left. Whole areas of the campus have totally developed. It looks incredible. The primary library is just stunning. The new early years classrooms are amazing. The biggest milestones for the college have been the developments that have happened to the campus, but also the fact that it is now a through school all the way from nursery to IB, which takes a huge amount of work and focus to get there. The college now has several very successful graduating IB classes with students who have gone all the way through Dulwich and are now embarking on university careers. That's an incredible achievement. I hope that it continues to stay here in this district of Seoul, serving this expatriate and Korean international community. It seems to still be a very happy place, which schools should be. We didn't know how we were going to get sometimes from A to B and what the pathway was going to look like. We just had to try it and see what happened. Those children and families came on that journey with us. We set up a school that was adventurous, that had great diversity within it, where the academic excellence was high, and I still see that here now. It's still at its heart the same place, but it's just deepened and broadened those values to something even better.